What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sir Love, and this is another episode of Ask Sir Love. Yes, another episode of Ask Sir Love. And on Ask Sir Love, what we're going to do is we're going to answer some questions that pop up in the comments. So if you have questions about the music business, please leave them here so that I can answer them for you. So, how can I get a JV deal or JV or distribution deal from the label? That's what we're being asked. How can I get a JV or distribution deal? If that's something that you're interested in, the way to get a JV or distribution deal is to be able to provide an extreme amount of value on the front end. What do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about it. So these are two different types of deals. So the reason you get one or the other is different. Let's start with the joint venture deal. Reason a label's going to give you a joint venture deal is because your business is together. Not just you're a dope artist, your business is together. Joint venture means I'm going to launch a business with you. It's going to be the label, it's going to be you. We're going to create a new business entity called the joint venture, right? It could be a structural partnership or it could be a paper partnership, whatever it is. It's going to be a partnership between the two of us, right? And we're going to create a new entity, or sometimes I'm just going to become a part of your entity in which we are 50-50 partners, right? It could just be a profit share. It could actually be a new entity. There's a lot of different ways that it can be structured, but holistically, you're going to come together, all right? When you come together, the idea is that someone's going to front the cost, which is normally the label. The artist company is going to take marketing dollars received from the label. They're going to execute their half. The label's going to execute their half. They're going to work together to market the project, to get it out there to the public, etc., etc., etc. Typically, the artist company does the ground level work, right? You think they're going to do from A to G, right? And then the label's going to go from H to Z, right? Like typically the artist or the artist company in that scenario, or the independent company that's doing the JV in that scenario, really understands their audience, really understands the ground market better than the label does. And the label appreciates that because that company has a track record of generating revenue. So when I say your business has to be together earlier, what I mean is that you know your numbers, you know your facts, you know your streaming numbers, you're generating streaming numbers, you're getting merchandising, you're already doing shows, you've already done a national circuit, or at least the Chitlin circuit if you're on the East Coast, or you've ran up and down California if you're on the West Coast. If you're in Texas, there's a whole independent market all through Texas. You've ran that circuit, right? You've done your due diligence. You're out there. You're generating money, and at this point, the label side, like, I want a piece of what you got, and you're sitting there going, well, if you want a piece of what I have going on, then what are you going to give to me? And it's about creating the perfect marriage, getting access to what they have that you don't have in exchange for what you have that they want. And you put together a great deal, and that's a JV. You're not going to start getting offered JVs until you're generating significant cash. Now, I can't put a number on it because every label is different. Some labels will look at the value of the talent a little bit more than others. Some labels don't give a fuck at all about the talent. So, it can happen at any stage, but it's safe to say if you're generating a few $100,000, you're going to have an opportunity to do a JV deal, right? If you're generating a few $100,000, you're going to be able to do a JV deal, period, right? And by generating, I mean, that's not your take home. That's how much money you're generating. What you'll learn when you get to the point of generating that type of cash is that there are a lot of expenses associated with the business. So even if you made $400,000, you didn't keep $400,000, right? There are a lot of expenses that got you there. So hopefully, that helps gives you insight on the JV side. If we're going to move forward to the distro side, the distribution side is pretty much the same thing. The difference is when you're with the JV, and not the same deal, it's the same thing in reference to what you're probably going to do to qualify for it. The distro deal is probably going to be less heavy in reference to how much you have to be generating, this, that, and the third. There are a lot of labels that are, especially independent labels, that are willing to do distro deals these days because distribution is simple. Distribution used to be you have to package and sell your CDs in physical stores, right? Or tapes or vinyls in physical stores, which meant a lot of upfront costs that the label needed to know that they were going to recoup in order to do the deal. Now a distro deal is basically saying, look, I'm going to post you on Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and all these other platforms that we all know about, Tidal, etc., right? You can do that yourself. So a distribution deal in today's market is really the label sourcing and working your record on those playlisting environments on those different platforms, and it's also the label giving you a bag basically to go and market. They're going to say, we believe that we're going to make some money back off of streaming, so we're going to do a deal where we get a percentage of the streaming of this project for X amount of period of time or for in perpetuity, which means forever. We're going to get a certain amount of this particular project because we believe in this project, and we're going to give you marketing dollars to do your thing. Now, in order to get this deal, they have to be confident that you're going to do your thing, which means in today's time, a distribution deal would be reflective of large streaming numbers, whereas the JV deal would be more holistic of all the things that you're doing, tours, merchandising, blah, 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 blah. The distribution deal will be just looking at your streaming numbers because that's the only way the label's going to eat, so that's the only thing they're going to care about. So if they know their last two projects, you generated $1 million each on each project through streams, right? You generate $1 million each. So if you generate $1 million each, they're going to say, well, how much money did it take you to generate $1 million? They're going to be looking into, your financials. They're going to want to see some information. They're going to get some insight from you. You're going to say, well, it took us $300,000 to generate that $1 million. And then they're going to go, and then you're going to pitch to them, well, imagine if we had twice as much money, we might be able to generate twice as much. They're going to tell you that it doesn't always work that way. This, that, and the third. What's your marketing plan? You're going to give them some insight, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, all right, well, it took you $300,000 to do it last time. How about we front the $300,000 this time, and then you put whatever else you want on top of that. But in exchange for the $300,000, we want 40% of sales. So if it does do another $1 million, we're going to get $400,000. We can't lose. But if you put your $300 on top, and you put $600 in and you end up doing $6, $7, $8 million, well, because of the extra marketing resource, extra dollars that you yourself didn't have for whatever reason, expenses, blah, 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 you're now going to make more off of 70% of $7 million versus 100% of the $1 million that you was previously making, and they're walking away with 30%, right? Or it could be an 80-20, sometimes 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 85-15. The deal could be different however you structure it, and their involvement could be different based off of what you want to provide. What you want them to provide? Is it just the cash, or do you actually want to use their system? And a lot of times, artists want to use their systems. And so when you're doing a distribution deal, it's very important to understand who you're doing it with because all of them have different offerings. Look, everyone thinks cash is hard to get. Cash is very easy to get when you're making money. When you're not making money, cash is really, really, really hard to get. But once you're making money, everyone will give you money because everybody wants a piece. The question is, can you leverage that additional money to make additional money? And if so, you'll win. This is in every business. This is not just the music industry. This is in technology. This is in real estate. This is in merchandising. This is in product development. This is in any business. The moment you're making money, people will throw money at you. At a certain point, in the music business, you don't even have to go to the label anymore. You can go to a bank and get the money, a real bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and get the money, right? Because anyone will give you money if you're winning, right? So I hope that was helpful. I hope that added value. So the short answer is yes, but I gave you a more detailed response. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Support. You see what's going on down here. Support, right? Go ahead and tip your boy. Go ahead and, I don't know if I like tip. I think of a different word. I'm not a stripper, but you get the idea. Tip your boy, say some thank yous. Go ahead and go to the website. I got a lot of information for you. And if you come over here, download some content. I've created a lot of content where I go way more in depth, give you guys strategies, things of that nature. Let me help you win, all right? I don't know everything, again, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Take care.